Heyo, and welcome back to the Boston Sports Brothers podcast. Gentlemen, how are you? Good to see ya. Been a
Good to
Welcome
minute.
back,
see you.
Bloody,
Good to see
Welcome
you, my
back,
friends.
brother.
Welcome back.
the Europe traveler over
Good to
there.
be seen. Yeah, we tagged one out in myself, tagged one back in Gabe, who's over there now celebrating a family wedding. So hope his travels have been going well, and it's gonna hit like crack when we all five of us are back together, boys. It's that's gonna be a good episode. Hopefully next week with a big guest, God willing.
I like this one BSB out, one BSB in, and it's kind of like a nice little thing that, one of us needs to go to Italy. So who's up next? Sam, Josh, me?
I
Who's
wish.
going to Italy next?
Hey,
I
I'll
wish.
give me a flight. I'm there.
All right. We'll see what resources we may have available to make that happen.
We'll
But
ask the sponsors. We'll ask the
you know,
sponsors.
yeah, all those lovely sponsors. Well, yeah. Anyways, it's good to see you fellas. We got some stuff going on here in the Boston sports world. We're gonna kick it off here with a little baseball and the Red Sox, the team that's in action day in and day out. Obviously, some big news with a move from Worcester up to the big league clubs. Crazy boy, take it away.
I was gonna say someone else was doing a little bit of traveling as well, but that was only from Worcester to Boston. The Roman Empire has begun in Boston.
Resurrected.
Yeah, it's been resurrected. That's right. I'm excited. I don't know about you guys. He's already on the field taking grounders. You can probably see him between my split screens, like at the TV going. Sean, yeah, Sean Newcomb was kind enough to give him number 19, so he's got his official major league number. And knock on wood, he's not going anywhere. And the big three are here, and this is what the foreseeable future is. Um, is he gonna make or break this team this year? No. Not at all. I don't think he's going to make or break the season. I just want to see development and stride out of these guys. And now I want to see the actual growth start to take place. There'll be some hiccups, obviously. I mean, he made his first error before he got his first RBI, but other than that, I want to hear your guys' takes on. I mean, I was ecstatic. I mean, I haven't been this excited for a rookie to come up since I can't really remember. So this was exciting for me. What about you guys?
I'm excited. The thing that is like kind of funny though is that it took someone going to the DL for them to, or the not the DL, sorry, the IL, for them to bring him up, with Willie Abreu. So that was like, it wasn't really like a true like we rah rah like we need this guy. It was really like it's because someone got injured. But hey, he's here nonetheless. It's exciting. It's just really it's incredible. There's like a true youth movement like right in front of us right now. Three of like baseball's top 50 prospects just on the team on the diamond right now. So it's good for the future. It's probably not great for this year and for where we think the Red Sox want to go, but honestly, what it's been the past few years, it's like what's another year of it, especially so far we're like what 2.5 months in. So let the kids develop and the future's bright, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. I hope there's still a baseball season left. Who knows? But we'll see. And we'll get into that in a little bit.
I'm
It
excited for
was
Roman. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say
no,
I'm
no, no,
excited. Go.
no. Go for it.
I was just say I'm excited for Roman Anthony, and I think it's nice to see him up there. I think the big question is why did it take so long for this to happen? But this to me is Red Sox 101 because it's distract from the fact that the product on the field sucks and it blows. And you want to know what? I'm glad that they brought him up. But like to me, it's all about everything that's going on around the team and not Roman Anthony and not Christian Campbell and not Marcelo Mayer. It's everything else that has me just like up in arms. And I just honestly, I've had it with them. I've had it with the ownership. I've had it with the front office. I've had it with Cora. I've had it with Devers. I'm done. Like at this point, like I just kind of want this season to go on its way because I don't think we're gonna have a baseball season. I'm sorry. I feel like a sucker. I bought into the hype, and I'm not doing that again. Fenway 5 is back on for next offseason. If you guys don't want to join me, don't join me. But I'm firmly entrenched. This club has a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
go
to
ahead,
counter your
Chris.
point though, that they did everything we wanted them to do. They traded for a pitcher. They signed the highest free agent third baseman, the second most what's it called, sought after free agent out on the market, and then did fill some other pieces. So the injury bug again, like I've said for the third episode in a week, really fucked us. It is what it is. That's part of the game, and yeah, that's where we're at. I mean, we have. four good things to look forward to. We have three young kids and an ace on the mound every 5 days, so we could
Outside
build
of
off that.
Crochet, though, the pitching sucks.
But yeah,
Nah,
that's
Bayo's been
what.
pretty good. He
No,
just hasn't had the offense. No,
no,
no, Bayo's been actually pretty good. He has not had the
I'm
offense.
overall the pitching's been a problem. And if you don't think that, I think you have to relook at what's going on
I
because
never
the
said overall. I just said
no,
Bayo's been pretty good.
And Eric said the pitching's been awful, which I agree with. The
It
pitching
has
has
been
been
awful.
as a
Besides those
whole
two,
has not been great. But what really like grinds my gears about this team is they have a great series against the Yankees where, they win 2 out of 3. And then I think Monday night, Monday night, which I think was the biggest game of the year against the Rays, they had it in the ninth inning and then they blow it. And like, it's just that's what really gets me is like you're trying to build momentum. You have this kid that you're calling up. Like it wasn't a great night at the ballpark on Monday night. If you guys noticed, it was raining and maybe like 55 degrees, and the ballpark was packed out because of Roman Anthony. So like that was awesome to see and like build on the momentum, and they can't do that. That's what really kills me. Is just this team is like they take one step forward and then two steps back.
We're back into this like they're not even there, but this illusion of contention sort of deal where you're hoping and where they have these, yeah, it's exactly what you said, a one step forward, two steps back sort of deal. In terms of sort of dissecting everything that you guys just said over the past few minutes, excited for Roman Anthony and the kids. I mean that's undoubtedly the bright spot with this team. I agree with Big E. Like I'm so fed up with it though at the same time. Two people in particular. The first being Devers. Him not running out that play at
Ugh.
Yankee Stadium the other night was one of the most pathetic things that I've ever seen a baseball player do. Like you were in a series against your rival and scuffling as a team overall on the season, and you literally just let up before you got to first base and didn't even dig it out. And the other person is his manager, Alex Cora. I think he's done a terrible job. Just an absolutely terrible job all season. The switching of the lineup, Kraz, I know you've talked about that on some of the episodes I listened to while I was out, and not having any sort of consistency. Mayer's in the lineup one night, he's not in the lineup another night. Christian Campbell's playing center field, then he's playing second base. It's like, dude, how like when there's no stability and every day that a player gets into the locker room and is looking at the board to see who's playing, like nobody fucking knows. There's no consistency, and it's been his decisions in game as well just seem to
Mhm.
have been dog shit. Like why why are you like moving people around all the time in terms of pinch hitting and like putting
Overwork in
people
the pen.
putting people in different positions? It's just like his managerial decisions make no sense to me whatsoever. Pretty fortunate that I was out over the past couple of weeks because I really didn't pay attention too much to this team and what they were
Didn't
doing,
miss
but
much.
it's pretty clear that it's just it's just more of the same.
It's just sad. We're here in like not even the middle of June, and like I can't speak for all of us, but a good portion of us here feel like the season is pretty much over, and that to me is upsetting. I think like we all thought that like, hey, we were gonna get some September baseball this year. We're not even talking about October baseball. We're talking about just hey, have this illusion that you're gonna be there somewhere in September, and they can't even do that. And going back to what you said about Cora, he can't even sack up and ask Devers to take and play the field. He's got to get the front office to do it. He's got to get John Henry to do it. Like, stack up, be a manager, and ask the dude to play. Also, same token, too, ship Devers on out of here. I'm going to give credit to Sam, who said this before anyone, that, like, he wanted him traded. I'm fully entrenched on that belief. He should not be here. He should be somewhere else. He's got a piss poor attitude, and I'm tired of him being on my team.
The thing that's tough about Devers is those like he makes that crazy run like he's like literally walking to the base when they're throwing it to first, but then he goes out in the ninth and he hits a moonshot. It's like
I don't
it
care.
just no. That's the thing that sucks is what I'm saying is like
Yeah,
his bat
it's
is
the
so
paradox of
good
Devers.
and he really is hitting the ball well that it's like it does make up for some of the crappy attitude and some of the stuff that happens, but. At some point, we have to look at people other than Alex Cora and Devers because that's all the people that we're talking about. It's really a lot of other players too, like the fundamentals of the game. They're making errors. I think Cora is really working a lot of the bullpen too much. Like Bernardino, I don't know if you guys saw him when he got out last night.
He was
Oh,
pissed.
he was pissed, dude. I think it's because he knows he's being overworked and he can't pitch to the ability that he wants to. So it's just like
Why is he being
it's
overworked?
because it's Cora, because and also because the starting pitching has not been.
Why is the starting pitching not doing well?
You tell me. The whole team.
Lack
It's
of
everyone.
offense, or like not all the phases of the game are good. Like I said, there are some of our pitchers are doing really well. It's not like our team's a complete shithole, and like that's kind of what it sounds like to me,
No,
as you
but
guys think. It's like, you know, we still have these reliable bullpen pieces. We still have these starters that
Oh
can
yeah,
do
we have the
things,
wife
but
beater. Yeah. Oh yeah, we have the wife beater
but
coming out of
Kraz,
it.
but
You know,
no, no,
that makes me feel so much better.
but Kraz, if you have two good
all right, never mind.
if you have two good starting pitchers out of a five-man rotation, what does that give you? Less than a 500 winning percentage. Like if you do the math, like it's not, and that's not good. You need more than two. Like it's just
They didn't
simple
expect
numbers.
Giolito to be as shitty as he is. They didn't expect Tanner Houck to be as shitty as he is. They
Yeah,
didn't
I mean,
expect you know what I mean? There were a lot of
No,
expectations
I
on the
agree
table
with.
for this team, and it's not coming out to play. And on paper,
But
this team would have been a really fucking good team.
but Sam
But
saying two pitchers have been doing well is bailing out the team. It's bailing
Gus,
out
I'm
the
not
pitching
bailing out the
staff.
team. I'm just
are
saying
you
that there
saying,
have been pitchers on this team that have done well.
So what? If they're
That's a
not doing
in
well
fact.
as a
this
whole, who cares?
in the same token,
Who
Kraz,
cares if
like
one dude has a good year when no one else is? When
what's
everyone's having a good year, that's what we remember and that's what we
But
care
when
about.
saying the whole team is not doing well, that's you know, there are some guys that are doing well. That's all I'm trying to say.
there are guys that are doing well, but the overall, I think the overall
Garrett
takeaway is
Crochet
like
is one of the top five pitchers in the
this
league.
this
He's
team
nasty.
is this team is underperformed based on what the
That's one
expectations
dude.
were at the beginning of the season, and there a lot of problems across the board. There are bright spots as we talked about here, and certainly the kids and you know I look at somebody like Abraham Toro who's just you know playing the corners and seems to be playing well. Like nobody saw that sort of thing coming. Like there are some bright spots, but the fact of the matter is that they're 4 games under 500, and you know if they don't get the positives are they have you know a hundred-ish games or so, a little less now to potentially right the ship and get
But
themselves
that's
into
the fool's gold. Like
right,
the second
exactly.
wild
So
card is that's all fool's gold. Like to say that they're 5 games out is like okay, if they have a good week, then they're going to be like 3 games out. But then what does it say if they have another bad week? That's just what I'm saying is the inconsistency with this team is just so ridiculous, and they need to put it together. And nothing has shown me that they're going to. I feel like they haven't had a
Guys,
3 game winning streak since like April or something like that. From what
they're
I've
gonna
heard.
replicate the 2001 Oakland A's. It's coming, you know. So just buckle up and get ready.
Moneyball,
see,
baby.
well, a team that you know who we talked about fool's gold in terms of things and not knowing if they're going to be able to make a run or not. We talked about this all last season. Is the Boston Bruins, who have now finally hired a new head coach for the team. Gabe isn't here for us to sort of break things down, so a little bit of open season on the Bruins. Let's start here. Just overall thoughts in terms of Marco Sturm being hired. Some of his comments, I believe, today was introductory press conferences and had an appearance on Felger and Maz as well. So just takeaways from Marco Sturm becoming the new head coach, and then any off-season nuggets in terms of the Bruins and sort of next steps now that he's been identified in the seat.
I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to Marco Sturm. I think one of the pros of him being there is that he actually built a team in wherever he was in the OHL, and that he does know what it's like to be a head coach. Even if it's not at the NHL level, I think that's still important. The one thing that really scares me though is, and I was watching the press conference and they these guys and he was clearly part of the Bruins 20 years ago when they had their cup run and whatnot, but they always love talking about the past. They can't they did talk about the future too, but like they kept bringing it up multiple times, and that's the thing that was really kind of bothersome to me when his name was floating around, was that he was part of the organization. He knows, you know, Sweeney and Neely and whatnot they're very close. So that also makes me a little nervous because if you have someone who's super close with the general manager and he's your head coach, I hope that they push each other and not just have this kind of buddy buddy relationship. So that's the thing that really scares me. But again, you got to give him some leeway. I mean, he's first year head coach. I hope he does well. Also, one thing that I thought was kind of weird, but I think he has to say this, was that he said he likes the decor if healthy, which I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I completely disagree. I think like Zadorov is a liability. I think Campus Lindholm, yes, he's good, but he's 31. He's on the back and he will get injured. So there were some things that were a little bit bothersome to me in the introductory press conference, but I don't know. I'm hopeful. Let's see what he can do.
Big E, Kraz, any takeaways from Marco Sturm or Bruins off season in general?
I didn't get the opportunity to listen to the press conference. I'm I'm optimistic about Marco Sturm just because I don't feel like it's right for a guy to come in who hasn't really done anything negative at this point to be negative about him. So I'm kind of trying to be hopeful for where the future goes. I think to me it's more about what do they do in the offseason to try and retool, because is this a retool or a rebuild? Because if it's a rebuild, then that's a different story. I want this to be a retool. I think that like they have some pieces to be able to do that, but they have to be able to go out and spend money to do it, and they have to potentially look at trading away some of the players on their roster to try and see if they can get younger and some more talent around there. So I really want them to bring Sam Bennett in. I think that that is a crucial player for them to bring in the offseason. And, obviously this dude's been playing, he's playing right now in the Stanley Cup finals. But to me, he has Bruins written all over him. He plays in a Bruins style that to me is just, it would be hard for it to not translate on this team if he were to come here.
Just based on the press conference today, I think it would be like I would be shocked if they brought Sam Bennett in. It sounded like a rebuild from what everything I heard, and not a retool, Eric. So if they bring Bennett in, that's incredible. I would love it. He is a Bruins. He's got Bruin written all over him, but I just don't see it happening. He's going to ask for big money. So
They have money to spend. They have
I
money to spend in the
I
offseason. And the
I
reason they have
know.
the reason that they have money to spend, and this is the problem, is because Don Sweeney is a terrible talent evaluator. And if we had actually drafted players that were homegrown, that were good, the money that we have available for free agency right now would be going to our own players. So, I mean, at this point, we got to deal with the hand that we're dealt. And if this is the hand that we're dealt, give me at least a not just a starting caliber player, but a player who can help will you to a championship if he's got enough talent around him.
Do you think Sam Bennett wants to play here though, when he's playing on
I,
a
I
cup winning team?
I think he wants to probably get paid after this year. So he's and if it goes the way that I think it's going to go, which I do believe that Florida is likely to win. I mean, I think that dude winning back-to-back years, at that point you feel comfortable leaving that team to go get your bag. And if I were him, if the Bruins are willing to offer me a bag, I'd go.
If the money's
Yeah.
comparable, you got to think about it though.
We've talked, yeah, I mean we've talked a little bit here about the Stanley Cup. Let's sort of shift our attention to that a little bit and just takeaways from game one and game two, sort of instant classics that go to overtime. I mean the McDavid move where he sort of goes right through the defense and then made that pass to Draisaitl was like one of the most beautiful things that's, like will live on for years and years to come. And then we got to talk about Brad Marchand, who, if the Florida Panthers win the Stanley
Ron
Cup,
Smith.
this guy is firmly in the lead, I'd say, to win the MVP trophy. And it's you're happy for him, sad that he's gone. I will say this: that money that he was looking for with the Bruins and the contract that they didn't give him, he's put himself into a position to likely get that and potentially more. So Stanley Cup takeaways, just in terms of things going on. Kraz, have you seen any puck here over the past few days?
Yeah, I've been watching. I saw Brad Marchand's parents kind of going crazy in the stands there. I mean, the big takeaway from this is Brad Marchand. I mean, he's been kind of the focal point. Elio's been really great with his takes. I don't know if you guys have been following him, but been loving Elio's takes. And yeah, you got two of hockey's best teams kind of going at it. The NHL's top star and Connor McDavid in Edmonton versus, that stacked Florida Panthers. So it should be a good one.
Yeah, hopefully go seven.
Yeah, I
J-Man,
think
Big E. Go
I
ahead,
think
Big E.
obviously the first two games were amazing, overtime and double overtime, and I think in game three, Florida really took it to them, but they were at home, and I think like that's expected. I think what really is going to determine where this cup final goes is how Edmonton responds in game four. Um, I saw that so far in this postseason, Edmonton has only lost two games in a row, and that was in the first round against the Los Angeles Kings. So they've been a little bit on a heater when responding well when they've lost. So I really don't want to go in and say that this is in the bag for Florida, because Edmonton can come on out tomorrow night and rip off a win. And then, two out of three games left are going to be in their house if they're able to do that and it goes seven. So I still think that this is still a cup that could go either way. But you got to lean, obviously, Florida right now, not just because it's 2-1, but just because they seem like they got under Edmonton's skin in game three. And that to me is the most important thing that I've seen so far through the cup final is it seems like Florida is kind of in their head a little bit.
I agree with you, Eric. You have to lean Florida, not just because they have the 2-1 lead, of course, but just the way the game's been played and what you're seeing with your eyes. It's you got to stay out of the penalty box within the first minute if you're Edmonton. You can't go into a hostile environment where you know you have to survive at least the first 5 minutes. We all remember that as the Bruins. God, I haven't felt this in so long, where you're on the road in the playoffs and you literally just have to survive because the momentum is going to be on the home team no matter what. Like, and that was clear as day. And to go down on a penalty kill within the first minute, like that's tough to come back from. So they have to play clean hockey. Edmonton, they have to play a perfect game if they want to get out of Florida with a win. I do think it's going to be over in 6. I think Florida's just too good. I think they're the way that the style they play, like if you don't make a decision within like a half a second, there's someone on you. It's crazy. Everything's clogged up. It seems like they almost play with 6 players. So good for them. They're a great team. That's the team that you want to model after. If you're a fan, if you're a Bruins fan, you'd love to be the next Florida Panthers. So that's who. If I'm Marco Sturm, I'm taking notes and I'm being like, that's the team that I want to be. So, but
I
it's been a
think
hell of a series. Hell of a
I
series.
think I think it's impressive too if Florida wins this, winning Stanley Cup 2 years in a row and being there in the finals for 3 years. Like they clearly are the team of the 20s so far. And yeah, like let's see what they can continue to do if they keep the core around. I mean, if you're Marchand, if you're thinking about like what your options are and Florida's going to give you a deal that's comparable to other teams, why would you go anywhere else at this point? You
Oh my
might as
God.
well stay.
For a dude that spent his winters for 20 years in Boston to spend a year or two in Florida, I mean, come on. I don't think he would pass that up. I really don't.
I mean, I
Indiana's a
truly, I
great
true,
team.
I truly am happy for him because he didn't want to leave. He wanted to stay here. He wanted to be a Bruin for the rest of his career, and I mean, they made a decision to stop having one foot in and one foot out, and they put both feet out, which I'm happy that they did. I just wish they hadn't done it at Brad Marchand's expense, but I'm happy for him if he wins a cup.
You just wish he
Yeah,
got two with the Bruins. Like that's the biggest thing in my,
yeah,
like
for sure.
that's it.
Well, he would tell you that he wished that too. I mean, 2019 was that opportunity. I was talking with someone today in my office job that in 2013, I'm not upset at them for not winning that. They were overmatched. Blackhawks were a better team, and yeah, I would have loved if they had gone 7 in that series because anything could have happened. We could have been the team like the St. Louis Blues in 2019, but we should have won in 2019, and it still irks me. I think it will always irk me until the day that I die.
Yeah, that and then having the Panthers run began with beating the Bruins, who came off the best regular season of all time there, uh, and the Bruins blowing a 3-1 lead there. So great Stanley Cup final here over the next week or so. We'll keep tabs on that. We're going to shift our attention now to the NBA and a couple of Celtics notes and nuggets in terms of off-season things as we approach the ever important date of July 1st, where the new league year begins and all the chaos really starts to fly. And then we'll talk some NBA finals here as well. Big E set the stage.
I think the word of the day for the Celtics is rumors. Rumors, rumors, rumors. We got like everyone and their mother is on the trade machine trying to figure out what are they gonna do, who are they gonna trade away, and the popular names that we're hearing right now are Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis. You hear a little bit of rumblings of like, yeah, I know KP. Well, we'll
We
call him
love the extra syllables. It's all good.
Kristaps.
Kristaps.
Dispensary.
Yeah. Just dispensary. I think in general, I think Sam Hauser is a dude that no one is really talking about, and I think he's most likely gone. And I think he's gone because he's a piece that can really help someone on the margins. I'm not sure where he's going to go or what we're going to get back for him, but I think if we're trying to get under the second apron, I, I I think we all tend to believe that Drew is someone that's probably gone too. I think those are the two guys that they move. I really don't see them moving Porzingis because at this point, I think you're gonna not get back a fair return. And if you really want him to try and work up his value, you can keep him and trade him at the trade deadline and get something back at that point when he seems like he's in a much better position. As far as outside of the rumors, I think we're going to start seeing some stuff really start going down in probably about 2 weeks, right around the NBA draft. So, things are going to start happening soon. It's just we're all in this point right now where everyone doesn't know what's going on and everyone's kind of going wild with what they think is going to do. I have a feeling Brad Stevens is going to do something that no one is suspecting, and I trust in Brad Stevens to do the right thing and end up, going through and putting this team in a position maybe not to contend next year because I don't think that they're going to be contenders, but I think he's going to put them in the right position so that way when Tatum is back and healthy, which we'll get to right after this, they're going to be in a spot to be one of the perennial favorites to come out of the East. So, kind of transitioning to Jason Tatum, some positive news. He has been working on at the facility. So that is really, really positive. He is now probably like what, 27, 28 days post surgery. He posted something on his Instagram about like day 25 or day 26 and said that, he's feeling good and that, it may not be the physical part, but I think the mental part, which is he is, geared up for the rehab and ready to attack this thing head on. And shout out to Torrey Craig, who was in the facility and filming JT, who's, who had a big smile. And, you know, shout out to Torrey
A
Craig.
little bit and play devil's advocate against you saying
What?
The recording stopped.
Buddy.
Did it? I'm here.
Yep. There you go.
but he's going to be. You got to realize Jason Tatum is the focal point to this team. Again, you look at a guy like Jaylen Brown. He's a really quiet guy, but I really don't care what any of those polls say. He's a top 20 player in the league.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree with
He's
you.
and I think this team is gonna go a lot fast things they're going to. I think there's a lot of doom and gloom because Jason tore his Achilles. I mean, that's like one of the worst things you could possibly like tear. But on the plus side, he got a procedure that's never been done before on someone in that quick amount of time. He got it done at probably one of the well, not at, he got it done from one of the best surgeons that does that procedure. Thirdly, he's got the best healthcare as far as rehab goes. And lastly, he's a dog and he's young. Kobe was back on the floor in 8 months. Kevin Durant, the string bean, was back on the floor in 18 months. The average.
So what? Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say the average heal time for an Achilles um, tendon rupture to get back onto the floor is roughly about 10 and a half months. So, with that being said, JT is going to be game ready come mid-March, early April.
Don't push it.
Don't push it. Give it. Like,
Whoa,
what do you
whoa,
have
whoa,
to
whoa,
gain
whoa,
it?
whoa, whoa,
Well,
whoa,
and,
whoa,
and,
whoa,
al-
whoa,
and
whoa,
also,
whoa,
and
whoa.
also,
I'm not
what?
saying what I'm saying is he will be game. I'm not saying put him out on the floor because when you're playing in the playoffs, it's a completely different game than it is in the regular season. I've already did my looking in. I've tried to see if maybe you could slot him into some games in the G League. That's not possible because
What?
the G League ends before the NBA season, the playoff
Why?
season starts. So they wouldn't be able to do
I
that.
would never put him in the
Never in
G
the
League.
world.
If he's ready to play, you put him in the NBA.
Not if it's playoffs versus I don't know. It's
But
You
that's why
just
you don't necessarily put him
you
in.
just rest him. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just let him get his work in and worry about the next year, in my opinion.
I,
I yeah,
Go
no.
ahead.
You know,
Go ahead, Josh.
I want no, you go because I want to talk about what I think Brad Stevens is going to do. So if you want to talk JT,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, no. This isn't even JT. I think this is going back to what you were saying about you think that they're going to be a contender. How can you say that right now when there's so much uncertainty around this team and what they're going to do and what they're going to move? We don't know, right? They could very well be a contender, but with all the uncertainty and all the moving parts, yeah, do I think that they could be a 4 seed, maybe even a 3 seed? Yeah. Do I think that they're a threat to win the championship next year without Jason Tatum? Absolutely not. So that's what I mean by contender. So like, are they going to be competitive? Are they going to be a fun team to watch next year? Are there going to be players that are young players that hopefully will develop and help this core extend their window going forwards? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that I believe that this team is going to be a championship title contender next year. They're going to be fun to
Why
watch.
wouldn't they be?
I'm going to root for them.
As they're a two or
But
a 3 seed coming out of the East, why, or even a 4 seed? What are the Pacers right now? They're a 5 seed,
the Pacers were, I think, a 4 seed.
a 4 seed, and
And
they're in the finals. So I mean, what
yeah,
would be?
but also like they also had a terrible first half of the year, or not
So
first half, but first
uh,
start of the year.
I'll tell you why. This is why they're going to be competitive, but they're not going to compete for a championship, Sam. They're just not. Because what this injury does is it allows Brad Stevens to actually play it safe. He doesn't have to go bold and go trade for a huge big and make a huge splash. He can actually trade Drew Holiday and get some money back and actually not really even take a big player maybe and just kind of dump the salary a little bit. And then you have JD Davidson, the G League Player of the Year, who's going to get a lot of playing time next year. You have Jordan Walsh, who's going to actually get a lot of playing time next year. This gives the kids the opportunity to develop
Bela.
and grow. And you don't have to go out and make a huge splash, which I don't think Brad Stevens is going to do. I think he, like I said, he might trade Drew Holiday, but that to me, that's not a big splash. That's just kind of getting an aging contract out of here. And it allows your kids to develop and you still be competitive, and then you get JT back. And who knows, maybe these kids take a huge leap. Maybe JD Davidson is nasty. Maybe he's like the point guard of the future. Maybe he's Rondo. So then you look at it for not next year, the year after, and that's what you really want to build towards. So I think it gives Brad Stevens a lot of opportunity to just kind of stand pat and do what he needs to do, and then let the kids kind of work.
I know we're
I
not talking about the draft quite yet, too, but I think this is a good draft. And yeah, they have two draft picks, but their second round draft pick is basically one of the first picks of the second round. So it's almost like a late first rounder. So if Brad Stevens can really hit on at least one of those two picks, like that's another player that we can develop next year and be ready for that core
But
to extend.
But Eric, I'm like, at this point, they've drafted so many players and developed. Like, I want to see JD Davidson. I want to see Jordan Walsh. Like, we've been hearing about these kids for like a couple of years now. So like now I actually want to see them. Like, like I get what you're saying. Like, let's have him draft. Let's think about it in 5 years from now. But like, I want to see these kids that we've been talking about, and like let's do it. Like, this is
Oh,
their opportunity now.
oh, I don't think that like whoever if they draft a center, that dude is going to play. He's not going to be sitting behind other people because we aren't going to have the bodies at that position.
I don't disagree. I don't know if they're a championship team, but I actually think that next year is almost like going back in time a little bit to, when this team had Kyrie and when they had Hayward, but then you had Brown and you had Tatum, and it's these two young.
2019.
Right. You had these young guys that, you're hoping to sort of take the mantle. And not to say that Jordan Walsh or
Exactly what I'm
Davidson
talking
are
about.
these kind of players, but
Exactly.
they made those Eastern Conference Finals runs for however many years with the IT Bridgie Celtics. So don't expect them to not be competitive. I'd say, their ceiling is there. I think it's a good thing for Missoula as well. It's like this team is not going to be able to just fucking jack up threes all the time next year as well. So
They have to
uh
play.
I
Yeah.
yeah, and talking about playing, I think it's a great segue into the finals and just some takeaways from the first two games of that. If Tyrese Halliburton doesn't hit a insane shot, there at the end of the game. OKC is really in command with a 2-0 lead going to Indiana, but he hits that shot. The thing about the NBA Finals that sucks is the amount of time that's in between games. Here is you have like 2 or 3 days. It's just like, Jesus Christ, can we play? But let's just any thoughts from the first two games of the finals. I think, coming away from my end at least, like OKC should probably have this in 5 or 6 games. They're the better squad, but Indiana's scrappy, and they have this end of game magic that we haven't really seen. I mean, they've pulled miracles out of their ass, not just once, but a few times.
And they have two games at home coming up. So I think like they stole one at OKC. They literally stole that game in game one. So if they can take at least one game at home between game three and game four, I'm not going to concede that this series is over. I do think you have to lean heavily towards OKC just because the talent gap is so wide. OKC is just so deep. I think the thing that was most impressive about game two, it wasn't like SGA, and SGA is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. It's the guys that were coming off the bench, Wiggins and Caruso, and just dudes that were just like they're relentless. You can't take anyone off the floor and feel like, oh yeah, I have an advantage against OKC. They just come at you and they're relentless.
Yeah. Kraz, J-Matt, any NBA Finals takeaways from the first two games or things you're looking for here in the rest of the series?
Meh.
Eh, you're
Yeah.
you're uh
I
you're
I
one you're one of the
well
viewers that's fallen off.
Kind of.
I I just like I told you guys, it was going to be a little bit more competitive than everyone thought, just with the veterans that Indiana does have, with the coaching and on the actual bench itself with the players. So, like I said, I expect it to be a little bit more competitive. I think OKC came out and just completely dominated. I don't think they were down by less than 20 throughout the whole entire game. Second game, I think they kind of came out and made an impact statement game. Game three, I think we're really going to see what we got as far as a matchup goes. Again, just like the NHL playoffs, the first couple of games are kind of feeling me off, as far as like, feeling them out as far as that goes. And yeah, fuck you.
I think my biggest takeaway is that like all the haters that said the Celtics had like a walk in the park to like the championship, like F out of here. Like this
No team
finals,
ever has to
this
walk in the
like that's
park.
what I'm saying. This finals is like meh, like I said before. Like whoever wins it, like, it wasn't the greatest run of all time. Like, so those people who said last year that the Celtics had to walk in the park to their championship can F off. That's my takeaway.
Agreed. 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 Agreed.
Love it.
Some people are saying that the Patriots should F off with Stephon Diggs after his
Hmm?
pink bag of drugs. That
Pink
was
bag of drugs.
yeah.
Hey,
Da.
he's showing up. I mean,
Hey,
he's
so
there now.
let's dive into it. Mini camp or OTAs, I don't know what the fuck they call it. There's too
Surprised he
many
didn't get drug
acronyms.
tested.
Yeah,
Show up and practice. That's what they should call it.
in terms of the Patriots off season here, but we're at the point where they do have this mini camp and getting the whole team together. Then they break and come back obviously towards mid late July for training camp. But J Matt, just anything from the news of or the world of the Patriots right now, or anything that you've seen from the practices that they've had.
Two takeaways. From all the video that I've seen, it looks like Diggs on the field is being a leader and working with the young guys, especially
Mhm.
Polk. So Polk isn't dead. Let's just say that. He could definitely have a resurrection with the help of Stephon Diggs. That being said, I hope that he passes his impending physical or whatever the hell this BS contract is and really is on the team, because that's a huge question mark. Like, who knows? He's in and out. Apparently, he's at practice one day, he's there not the next day. Vrabel has had some questionable comments around him being available, basically saying like he's when he's around him, he's there. But I don't know. I like it. I think that if Diggs is here, he's going to really help the team. He's going to help May. Also, one thing that I've heard too is that Drake May's been he hasn't had the greatest camp from what I'm hearing. And I mean, obviously I'm not down there, but someone like Alex Barth, who actually is down there on the regular, said that he had like a C- day pretty recently, and that's not good to hear. So
I don't think you're telling the full story with that though. I was literally watching him before I came here, and he said that the last two practices were A practices for him. So like I
okay,
think I think also like he's learning a new offense.
that's what I
He's
was
got
gonna say. It's a
Yeah,
so
new
like
Josh
offense,
yeah,
McDaniel's
so
offense is not
yeah.
easy to pick up.
No, so but
yeah.
that's cause for concern though, because it's like you don't want a year two kid like learning a new offense to having to actually like juggle like the year two like of the NFL. So it's just something to keep an eye on throughout the rest of training camp and preseason.
I think
And
it's
I
definitely worth keeping an eye on.
I think it's going to take some time for May to adjust, like any sort of coaching change. But I think we're all, pretty content in terms of who the Patriots now have around Drake May and his development moving forward. And I think McDaniel's, if he could get what he got out of Mac Jones, I'm confident that he can get, some good stuff here out of Drake May, and that it's just going to take some time. I've also seen a few notes that Will Campbell has really just been slotted into that left tackle position and seems to
Good.
be fitting in well. And you've seen some video of Moses sort of mentoring him as well, which is great to see. Defensively, there hasn't been too much. I think our boy Tavai went down with an injury at one point.
Not the worst thing in the world.
He
Yeah,
was
which
he
is
was the one talking shit about us, so
Feel
I
bad,
exactly
don't
but
want to
like
see
I
anyone
don't
get hurt. But
ever, but yeah.
no, but it's a quiet time on the football front, and they sort of all get on their vacation. Belichick will get himself back to Nantucket and out on the boat with Jordan, and maybe I'll see him when I'm there in a couple weeks. Who knows? But that's really where we're at in terms of football season. Obviously, as training camp approaches in July, we'll touch on that. So we've covered all our bases here on everything Boston sports, as well as some of the national finals that are going on. I see Big E taking the mic, getting himself ready in position. It's been almost a month since I've been here for this moment. So without further ado, Big E, take it away.
It's my favorite segment of the show. It's the time for me to talk, or for us to talk about the things that, we don't like, the things that we hate, the things that make us go, yeah, oh, like get out of here. And then we have the things that are stupendous, fantastic, wondrous, the things that make me want to get up out of my chair and yell, oh, yeah. Who's got a yeah, oh, or an oh, yeah, this week?
I
gotta
gotta,
fire
I gotta,
away.
oh yeah, to kick us off here. I gotta give a big oh yeah and shout out to Krasner for filling in as host of the show when I was away. Got a chance to listen to each of the episodes that you guys did. It was great to be able to listen, little piece of home as was overseas. Good couple chuckles as well. So that was good times to be able to listen. But Kraz, great job to J Matt, Biggie, and Gabe obviously as well with the episodes. And
Over.
it was
So
fun to listen and hear everything back. But wanted to shout out Kraz on his hosting abilities. Well done, my friend.
of course, anytime needed, I would more than gladly take the reins.
That's awesome.
All right, who else?
I had no, yeah, Gabe being out in Europe after you got back. Like I said, it's like one brother's in, one brother's out. So yeah, kudos to him. Hope he's enjoying the beautiful weather over in Italy and yeah, which one of you guys is next on the move, huh?
I would love to go over there.
I'm not going anywhere
I
anytime
was
soon,
there
so
in the fall though, so I was over in Europe, but maybe sometime in the future, we'll see.
Biggie will be taking off somewhere in 2026, the destination unknown for a couple weeks. So we'll figure that out at some point, but I don't know where we're going.
All right. Any other Ohs? Oh, Yaz might be a light week on that front.
I got one more. Oh yeah, I've got an oh yeah to Plotty returning after a number of weeks away. So it's nice to have you back, brother. It's good to see you. And while we did a great job while you were gone, it's nice to always have our brothers back in the fold. And looking forward to having all five of us in the fold. If not next week, then the week thereafter.
Yeah, absolutely. So soon to be. Yeah, we've talked obviously about Europe extensively. Had a great trip over there with the missus as well as my sister and her significant other, and just a great time. Highly recommend to anybody that has the opportunity to travel, whether it's domestically or internationally. Take your vacation. That's number one. Like
actually, how
take
about an oh yeah to Kayla, my brother's fiance? She's in the Serengeti right now, and yeah, I don't know if you guys have been looking at her Instagram stories, but it's
They're wild. They're
National
wild.
Geographic-esque. Yeah, she was like I think maybe like 5 feet away from a lion, and then also saw a pregnant cheetah run down a gazelle. So
That was wild. That
That
was
was
awesome.
cool.
yeah,
Plotty,
so travel the world,
Greece,
people.
Greece or Italy? You got to choose one.
Oh,
Which do you prefer?
Jesus. I gotta go Italy, and the reason being is that everywhere that we went in Italy, just had a completely different vibe. But Milan was kind of like the LA. I felt like Florence was akin to Boston, and Rome was kind of like New York. And then the Amalfi
Did you do
Coast,
the chairlift over
the
there?
so I didn't do the chairlift in Capri.
Oh,
I did go to Capri. However,
I
I
did.
did do a lift. In it was like it wasn't an elevator. It was like a caged in chairlift going down the cliff in Positano. And let me tell you, I was shitting bricks, my
Beautiful.
friend, because this thing is going down the hill at like a 60-degree angle. Yeah, like that, and it's hitting all the branches and the fucking flowers and whatnot. And I'm like, this is not for me. If you don't like heights, do not go to the Amalfi Coast. Let me tell you that. And you better have your stair stepper workout in order because
Get your
you are
calves going.
climbing and climbing. Yes, so. No, I think I'd go with Italy just because the diversity of the different things that you can do there. And we really didn't, we barely scratched the surface in terms of places to go and things that you could do. I got a that volcano that erupted in Sicily. I don't know if any of you saw that. But that was fucking crazy. There's people that are on the mountainside of this volcano as it's erupting, running for their lives, Pompeii style. And we drove past Mount Vesuvius on our way to the Amalfi Coast. Yeah, go on, go on to
And
Twitter
what
and look
blows
it up.
my
I
mind is
mean,
there are people that track those fucking things down and want to take pictures.
It's
it
like
was
tornado
banana
hunters,
land. Yeah,
crazy
like
people.
Let's go driving in the middle of a
Yes, they are
tornado.
crazy people.
I mean, yeah, we're
That's
driving
a great
past
fucking idea.
Mount Vesuvius in Naples, Italy, to get to the Amalfi Coast, and our driver's like, yeah, it hasn't erupted since 1944, and I'm like, if
Oh,
this thing erupts while we're here, like I mean, not the worst place to be stuck, but my wallet would have been depleted very quickly, considering the cost it is to get over there. But the fact that it erupted while we were then in Greece, just a few days after we had left, I have to assume that we would have had some ash and smoky skies coming our way. Greece was amazing. Mykonos is awesome. It's definitely party time, but also very relaxing with the beaches. And I'll just say, Athens wasn't my favorite. There's a lot of history there, but to me, it just Wasn't it was like Worcester. It just wasn't my kind of place. So that's all I got on the Italy and Europe trip, boys.
I thought, and I was shocked by that. I was really kind of like astounded at how dirty Rome was when I was there. Food was great, the attractions are great, but I just was still shocked by that. So I wasn't sure if you were shocked by that at all.
Probably like when people
Uh,
come to New York. They love
Somewhat.
it.
It
It's
was
a dirty city.
the
Yeah, there's
the
fucking
amount of
shit
people
on
the
the
amount of
street,
people that were there was insane. The amount of people that were there that were insane. So
literally.
Oh yeah.
not too much of an insane week here ahead as we head towards the Pike. The finals are going on between the Stanley Cup as well as the NBA, and the Sox continue on hoping to get back to that ever familiar 500 mark. Fellas, near far wherever you are, it's always great to see your beautiful faces. We'll see you in person soon. Any final takeaways? Otherwise, this ship will set sail for a new episode of the Boston Sports Brothers podcast, geez, and we'll be back next week.
Be good and be good to each
Boys,
other.
Later,
boys,
boys.
off we sail. No rough waters.
To a faraway
Peace.
land.